Today, the International Diabetes Federation on World Diabetes Day intends to launch an initiative called Women and Diabetes. If your child gets type 1 or type 2 diabetes, who looks after the child? It is a mother. So we are not here, frankly, to treat diabetes. We are here to fight a war against diabetes. Remember that. It is the women who are fighters because they not only look after the people with diabetes, they look at lifestyle, and they look, sometimes, unfortunately, don't look after themselves, which is what I think a lot of our frontline troops do, looking after the nation, and very often they have problems about things themselves.
Last 2 years, there's 10 million increment of people living with diabetes, which means every 6 seconds, somebody out there diagnosed with diabetes. We have a high-risk population. We have an older population with diabetes problem. We have a women with diabetes problem in the future. Our president immediately and rightly pointed out why we need to focus diabetes in women, and there is an answer to that. There's a health expenditures. We are spending $54 billion more within 2 years. If you properly manage diabetes, it's going to cost a lot of money. One of my friends, former Minister of Health, told me, if we properly manage a diabetes case in Korea, that budget will be equal to the national defense budget.
A common theme that underlies all of the work that we do on women, particularly in developing countries, but also in others, is the fact that women continue to be grossly undervalued by women themselves, by their families and communities, and often sometimes by their own countries. More than half of the 58 million children who are not in school, who should be in school, happen to be girls. And nearly 3/4 are living in sub-Saharan Africa and Southern Asia, often facing poverty. You've already heard. About 1 in 3 married women from developing regions has no control over her household spending. Lack of education, inadequate and poorly paid gainful employment, along with prevalent gender norms, deprives women of the information they need, the knowledge they should have, the resources, obviously, that they also need, and the attention they deserve in order to lead healthy and productive lives and nurture and raise their loved ones to lead such lives. Diabetes in general is ranked low in terms of priority, particularly for women. Effective responses to other health conditions have shown us that greater engagement of women leads to making programs more acceptable, more sustainable, and more effective. With over 200 million women living with diabetes and the projection of this number going up, particularly in the developing world, it behooves us to focus on women in our work on diabetes. I could say war on diabetes too. And with the fact that every woman is a major support to those living with diabetes in her family.
The only category, the only person who supports women are women. Social and health organizations should take responsibility in order to provide women with the skills and strategies to lead the change. Alone, we can do the change. Together, as women in conservative society, should learn, should be exposed to different speech and different thoughts and different dimensions.
So what can countries do today? Countries can ensure that national universal health coverage benefit packages provided by the public sector integrate the NCD best buys, including access to essential NCD medicines and technologies.
A critical meeting for diabetes, which will be the UN high-level meeting on NCDs. It is a critical meeting for the diabetes community that will crucially define the NCD action, including diabetes action, to meet agreed targets.
First of all, I am a woman with diabetes, not a diabetic woman, because diabetes doesn't define me. 6 times per day, with type 1 diabetes, you take at least 12 decisions per day. almost 400 decisions per month, 5,000 per year. When you fail, you know you are closer to the diabetes complications. We, women with diabetes, fight every day to be healthy. But we, all of us, here, governments, policymakers, decisions, we are responsible for guaranteeing the access of diabetes treatment and education all over the world. Unite for diabetes, unite for a healthy present and future for people with diabetes.
Caregivers, mothers, have to take multiple life or death decisions every single day. The stress turns into anxiousness. Controlling type 1 demands constant worry and responsibility, personal characteristics that don't pair well with childhood.
And if the women have diabetes also, they do not have enough time maybe to take care of their own health, because they have to take care about other members of the family.
How to provide teachers, the women teachers, because they are, as we said from the beginning, they are women, they are teachers, they are housewives, and so on. So all women, by different aspects, deal with a social and a healthy point. So the problem that we have lack of information.
They understand that the empowerment of women is central to access to information, access to education, access to services. They need to, exactly, and they need to work together much better.
Thank you.